More bad blood between the president and the Speaker of the House as the White House makes a bold move over the Russia investigation.
Now, even though we are approaching a holiday, the president and Nancy Pelosi are not taking a vacation from hammering each other. CBS 2 political reporter Dave Bryan is here with the latest round in this fight.
And you know, for most of us, this is a big holiday weekend, but in the political world, there is no such thing as a holiday truce. No, never going to happen. Congress is on break now. The president and first lady are headed to Japan, but before they left, Mr. Trump gave his attorney general enormous new powers over the Russia investigation, determined to prove that he was the victim of an attempted coup, as he put it today. And then he took another jab at House Speaker and California Democrat Nancy Pelosi.
I declassified, I guess, potentially millions of pages of documents. I don't know what it is. I have no idea, but I want to be transparent.
The president's order gives Attorney General William Barr the power to declassify any intelligence that sparked the Russia investigation, potentially millions of pages. Mr. Trump also ordered the CIA and other intelligence branches to cooperate fully with the probe. Dan Coats, the director of national intelligence, said his departments will give the Justice Department, quote, all appropriate information. But Coats also wanted to make sure the agency's secrets are protected, stating in part, I am confident that the Attorney General will work with the IC in accordance with the long-established standards to protect highly sensitive classified information that, if publicly released, would put our national security at risk.
The Attorney General is one of the most respected people in this country. I hope he looks at everything, because there was a hoax that was perpetrated on our country.
Now, back to the beef between the president and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi that was apparently sparked by this.
And we believe that the president of the United States is engaged in a cover-up.
Did you hear what she said about me long before I went after her? Did you hear? She made horrible statements. She knows they're not true. She said terrible things. So I just responded in kind.
Here's how the president responded overnight, retweeting a selectively edited video from a news conference, making it appear that Speaker Pelosi was constantly stumbling and bumbling over her words, which was not an accurate picture. That video aired on the Fox Business Network.
Sending signals.
Then this went viral, a doctored video of Pelosi appearing to be slurring her words in a speech earlier this week by slowing down the video. First, you'll hear the real video, then the fake one.
And then he had a press conference in the Rose Garden with all this sort of visuals that obviously were planned long before. And then he had a press conference in the Rose Garden with all this sort of visuals that obviously were planned long before.
Now, the president says he knows nothing about the doctored videos and then tore into Pelosi again, saying she is not helping the country. But some Democrats charge the fact that he retweeted the Pelosi video without even knowing whether it was doctored or not is a new low for a president of the United States. Now, the House Speaker wasted no time firing back, tweeting, "Don't take the bait." House Democrats, she said, are focused on making progress for the people. She said, take a look at our progress in the first 5 months of the Democratic majority, followed by a long list of bills that have been passed. The problem is the Senate is either not going to take up most of those bills and certainly is not going to pass them, so they'll die a slow death there.
All right. How long in Japan, the president and the first lady?
You know, that's a very good question. I don't exactly know how long he's going to be there, but
right.
I will find out and get back to you on that.
Okay. We know through Memorial Day, that's for
right,
sure.
yeah.
Just wondering.
Yeah.
All right, Dave.
Dave, thanks very much.